7 simple things you need to plan a wedding. Starting to plan a wedding can be really stressful. I learned that when I did mine. Sometimes the simplest things are extremely hard to remember, but they're important depending on the style of wedding you want, so you want to make sure you don't forget them. In this video, I'm going to go over those 7 simple steps to make sure you don't forget anything, as well as provide some useful tools to help you plan the perfect day in the dream event. The first thing is to pick a place to get married. I know this sounds like super simple, but it's actually very complicated. There are many factors that go into choosing a place to get married other than the price. How many guests do you plan to have? Do you want it indoor versus outdoor? Do you want an all-inclusive venue to have the wedding and reception at the same location, or are you going to do 2 separate locations? Which season you would like to get married in? And then you also want to think about your style. What do I want this day to look like? Because that's really going to help you select a location that fits in with your style, helps you decide indoor, outdoor, and checks a lot of those boxes for you. So this is the main thing you want to accomplish, and I really recommend booking at least a year out. Some places I called were booking more than 2 years out. As soon as you have a place you're interested in, call them, get the information, see what their availability is, and this will save you a lot of headache in the end. And lastly with this, if you're gonna have your reception space separate from your ceremony space, don't forget to look into that and book that as well. The second thing is the legal stuff. Believe it or not, there's a lot of paperwork when you get married. Make sure you check with the state you're gonna get married in to make sure you have all the documents you need ready to go to apply for your marriage license. A simple Google search will help you do this, and sometimes it requires things like a birth certificate or your social security card. So if you don't have those, you need to get extra copies. You want to make sure you build that time into everything. When you have your date set, you do a Google search, you figure out the time frame you need to apply for all the right documents. Anything with name changes, if that's applicable, any fees, you want to know all this stuff up front. And the other thing is time frames vary from state to state. Make sure you know in the state you're getting married the appropriate time frame, and this is going to save you from a huge headache in the end. The third thing, the invitations. You already saved one step when you made the guest list to pick your venue, because you're already going to have that guest list to use for your invitations to know how many to get. The important thing with invitations, you're going to want to build in time to look at samples, to get them printed. Make sure you plan out a time frame for this so that you get them and can send them out 6 to 8 weeks before your event. This is a standard, although depending on your caterer, your venue, what their time frame is, you may have to send it out sooner than this so that they know your final number. And another important thing, not everyone you invite is gonna come. Unfortunately, we would love them to, but you can build about a 10% buffer. About 10% of guests will decline your invitation. Sometimes that number can go up to 20, but generally calculate about 10%, and then you can build a B list of guests to invite. You always want to have an A and a B list, and then have those numbers for your invitation so that you're not having to do more than one order. The fourth thing, selecting your bridal party. The number of bridesmaids and groomsmen, it doesn't necessarily have to be even, but you just want to agree on the number of people you want in your bridal party. And remember, this has a direct impact on the budget later on, so you want to keep it reasonable. It can both be fun and stressful. deciding, make it more fun. There are lots of creative ways that you can ask people to be a part of your wedding. I recommend Etsy for some neat ideas. The fifth thing, and I combined two things here, the wedding bands and the flowers. The two most important things with this are your style and your budget, because you're going to be wearing these for a very long time, hopefully. And you want to make sure you absolutely love it, but it's within your budget, right? We don't want to be taking out loan after loan for everything for our wedding. Also, floral arrangements, your wedding bouquet, it can all add up very quickly. Having a budget in mind when you go and talk to a florist will save time. It'll help them pick the flowers that are in your budget so they're not showing you something way out of your price range. And like I said, flowers add up quickly. Make sure, if you really want them, fresh flowers, that you put aside a good part of your budget for the florist. The sixth thing, the big to-do, the dress, and of course, the suit for the groom. You want to give yourself plenty of time. It can be a pilgrimage trying to find your dream dress within your budget, but you also have to remember it's not just purchasing the dress. You're going to go through many fittings, same with the groom and his suit, to make sure you both look the best on your big day. And when you're working on the budget for your dress, don't forget to include accessories. You have your shoes, maybe you're getting a veil, any jewelry, and the groom should do that as well. And the seventh thing, very, very important, your photographer, and if you want one, a videographer. It's important to look at many photographers because there are so many different styles, and you're going to be looking at these pictures for the rest of your lives. Getting a professional photographer, I really recommend it. You're going to really appreciate the quality of the images that you get back so that you can enjoy them for a long time. A videographer is optional, but I really recommend it. The one thing about your wedding day, and you probably have heard a lot of people say, it goes by so quickly, like you blink and it's over. Having a videographer captures those little candid moments throughout the day, especially with your guests, that you don't always get to see or enjoy. So you capture it on video and you're able to enjoy it later. Really recommend that if you're able to squeeze that into your budget. Well guys, those are the 7 simple steps for planning a wedding. I hope you found this helpful. Even if you're not planning a wedding right now, save this video, use it as a tool later. And there are other tools I recommend, Wedding Wire, The Knot, Zola, they all have these little checklists which are a lifesaver to help you plan your wedding. Don't forget to share this video and keep an eye out for future videos so that we can help you on your wedding journey.